revealing Professor Hartman standing there with a stack of books and a frown deepening his tired features. "Diana," he said slowly, his gaze flicking to Gabriella's flushed cheeks, her rumpled shirt sleeve caught in Diana's death grip. "I see you've met my star pupil." Diana didn't let go. If anything, her fingers tightened possessively around Gabriella's wrist, but her voice was pure ice when she spoke. "Hartman, you're supposed to be bedridden." Gabriella could feel the tremor in Diana's pulse where their skin touched, the rapid staccato betraying her calm facade. Hartman's lips twitched, not with amusement, but something sharper, more calculating. "And you," he said, turning his attention to Gabriella, "are supposed to be in Ethics 201. The accusation hung between them, weighted with implications Gabriella wasn't ready to unpack. The fluorescent light above flickered, casting shadows that made Hartman's frown look grotesque. Gabriella stepped back instinctively, but Diana moved with her, a silent promise in the press of her shoulder against Gabriella's. "We were discussing my extra credit assignment," Gabriella lied smoothly, lifting her chin. Diana's exhale was barely audible, but Gabriella caught the approval in it, the same thrill as when Diana circled her best arguments in red ink. Hartman's gaze dropped to the rumpled collar of Gabriella's shirt, the smudged ink on Diana's fingers. "Extra credit," he repeated, deadpan. Diana's grip on Gabriella's wrist shifted, subtle, deliberate, her thumb brushing the frantic pulse there. "Hartman," she said too calm, "you look like death warmed over." The deflection was razor-sharp, but Hartman only smiled, the kind of smile that made Gabriella's stomach twist. "Funny," he mused, stepping closer, the stack of books in his arms a flimsy barrier. "I was about to say the same thing about your career prospects." The threat hung in the air like formaldehyde. Gabriella's breath hitched when Hartman's gaze slid to her again, lingering on the love bite half hidden under her collar. His nostrils flared, disgust or envy, she couldn't tell, before he adjusted his grip on the books. "Miss Vasquez," he said, too sweet, "perhaps you'd like to explain why you're here, when your actual professor," he stressed the word with a glance at Diana, "is currently failing you in modern philosophy." The lie landed like a grenade. Gabriella opened her mouth, but Diana cut in, her voice dripping venom. "Her actual professor is the one who ghosted his class for 3 weeks with bronchitis." The emphasis made Hartman's jaw tighten. Diana stepped forward, her heel catching on a loose tile with a crack that echoed in the cramped bathroom. Hartman didn't flinch, but his knuckles whitened around the books. "You're done," Diana hissed, low enough that Gabriella felt it in her ribs. Hartman's laugh was brittle. "Oh, Diana," he sighed, shaking his head like she was a misbehaving student. "You always did have a flair for the dramatic." His eyes flicked to Gabriella, lingering too long on her parted lips. "But fucking your students, even for you, that's..." Gabriella moved before she thought, shoving Hartman's shoulder hard enough to send his books scattering across the floor. The sound of spines hitting tile was obscenely loud. Hartman staggered, his expression cycling through shock, fury, and something disturbingly like arousal before settling on smug vindication. "Ah," he breathed, adjusting his glasses with trembling fingers. "There it is." Diana's hand closed around Gabriella's elbow, pulling her back. Not to stop her, Gabriella realized, but to anchor her. Hartman bent to retrieve his books with deliberate slowness, his gaze flicking up to Diana's flushed face. "You always did have a thing for lost causes," he murmured, thumbing the creased cover of Being and Time. Diana's grip on Gabriella tightened, her nails biting through fabric. "Get out," she said so low it was almost a growl. Hartman straightened, his smile widening as he took in the way Gabriella trembled against Diana, not with fear, but with the effort of not lunging again. "Or what?" he challenged, stepping closer. "You'll report me? For what? Exactly?" His gaze dropped pointedly to Diana's smudged lipstick. The overhead light flickered again, casting Hartman's shadow long and grotesque across the tiles. Gabriella felt Diana's breath hitch, Not fear, but calculation, before Diana released her elbow and stepped forward, crowding Hartman against the sink. "No," Diana purred, tapping a manicured nail against his chest. "I'll tell the dean about the incident with your TA last spring." Hartman's smirk faltered. Diana leaned in, her voice dropping to a whisper Gabriella barely caught. "The one where you forgot the security camera in your office was still on." Hartman's Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed hard, his glasses slipping down his nose. Diana didn't wait for a reply. She grabbed Gabriella's hand and yanked her toward the door, her heels clicking like a countdown. Behind them, Hartman's choked "Wait!" was drowned out by the slam of the bathroom door. Gabriella expected Diana to run, but she stopped abruptly in the hallway, spinning Gabriella to face her. "Listen to me," Diana demanded, her thumbs brushing Gabriella's pulse points as if to steady them both. "He can't prove anything unless—" The elevator dinged. Dean Whitmore stepped out, her sensible loafers halting mid-stride as she took in Diana's smeared lipstick, Gabriella's disheveled uniform, the way their hands were still tangled together like a guilty secret. The silence stretched, suffocating, until the dean adjusted her blazer with deliberate calm. "Professor Mercer," she said, voice drier than the ethics textbooks in her office. "I assume there's an explanation for this unorthodox mentoring session?" Her gaze flicked to the love bite blooming on Gabriella's collarbone. Diana's grip tightened. Not to pull away, Gabriella realized with a thrill, but to tether them together in the face of ruin. "Dean Whitmore," Diana began, her voice steadier than her pulse under Gabriella's fingertips. "Miss Vasquez was assisting me with—" The lie died as Hartman burst from the bathroom, his glasses askew, clutching Heidegger like a shield. The dean's eyebrows climbed when he skidded to a stop, his face flushing an unmistakable, damning red. Gabriella braced for the explosion, but Diana simply exhaled, long, slow, and turned to the dean with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I love her," she said, plain as a syllabus, while Hartman choked on his own spit. The admission hung between them, raw and unadorned, and Gabriella's breath stuttered at the weight of it, the way Diana's thumb brushed her wrist like punctuation. "I'll tender my resignation today," Diana added, lifting her chin. "But this," her grip on Gabriella tightened, "isn't negotiable." Dean Whitmore's lips thinned as she glanced between them, the fluorescent lights catching the silver in her hair like a warning. "Christ, Diana," she muttered, pinching the bridge of her nose. But Gabriella saw the flicker of— what? Recognition, before the dean schooled her features. "My office," she ordered, jerking her head toward the elevator. "All of you. And for God's sake, Mercer, fix your lipstick." Hartman opened his mouth, but Whitmore cut him off with a glare. "You especially, Jonathan. We'll discuss that missing security footage." Diana didn't let go of Gabriella's hand as they followed, her fingers interlacing tighter with every step, defiant, desperate. Gabriella's pulse hammered against Diana's palm, her mind scrambling to reconcile the woman who'd bitten her thigh raw in a supply closet with the one who'd just detonated her career for a single unshakable truth. Diana leaned in as the elevator doors closed, her whisper feather-light against Gabriella's ear. "I'd burn this place down for you." The words weren't romantic. They were a vow, edged with the same ferocity Diana graded essays, red ink, and ruthless honesty. Dean Whitmore's office smelled like old leather and disappointment. Gabriella counted the spines of law journals lining the shelves. 1, 2, 3. While Diana sat unrepentant beside her, legs crossed at the ankle like this was a faculty meeting, not an execution. Hartman's knee bounced under the desk, rattling the dean's teacup, but Whitmore ignored him, steepling her fingers as she studied Diana. "You realize," she said slowly, "that I could have you arrested." Diana's thumb traced circles on Gabriella's wrist, calm, steady. "But you won't," she countered. The dean's lips twitched, almost imperceptibly. "No," she admitted, "but only because I'd have to arrest half the philosophy department." Gabriella's breath caught when Whitmore slid a resignation form across the desk, crisp as a betrayal. Diana signed it without hesitation, her signature looping like a noose. Hartman made a wounded noise, but the dean silenced him with a look. "Effective immediately," Whitmore said, tapping the paper. Diana shrugged, casual as if she'd just declined coffee. "I'll clear my office by 5. The dean's gaze flicked to Gabriella, lingering on the flush creeping up her neck. "And you?" she sighed. "We'll transfer to Hartman's afternoon seminar." Gabriella recoiled, but Diana's grip tightened. "Stay?" before she leaned forward. "Actually," she purred, "Gabriella will be withdrawing from the course." Whitmore raised an eyebrow. "Will she now?" The air in the dean's office grew heavier, pressing down on Gabriella's lungs as Diana reached into her blazer pocket and produced a folded letter with Gabriella's name typed neatly at the top. "Her transfer to Columbia was approved last week," Diana lied smoothly, sliding it across the desk. Whitmore unfolded it with deliberate slowness, her eyes narrowing at the forged registrar's seal Gabriella had never seen before. Hartman craned his neck, but Diana intercepted him with a glare so sharp it could have flayed skin. Gabriella bit the inside of her cheek. When had Diana planned this? As the dean sighed and tossed the letter back. "Fine," Whitmore muttered. "But if either of you step foot on campus again," Diana stood, cutting her off, "we'll be in Buenos Aires by Friday."